Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Wow, we got a lot of people here tonight. Let me keep adding people. Welcome. My name is Rob Sima. I am one of the elephant leaders here in Sub 2. Look at all these people. Lovely. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to keep adding people. If you are in Facebook, please come on over to the Zoom. Let me drop this into the Facebook group. And then we can have everybody from Facebook come over and participate in the elephant Zoom. Let me find y'all. Where is Facebook? There it is. Here is the comment. Joey Green is in Facebook. Joey Green, there's the link, my brother. Come on over to the Zoom. All right, everybody come on over to the Zoom. Perfect. This is Elephant Challenge. Okay, looks like everything is turning on and everyone's being dialed in and everyone is getting into the Zoom. Perfect. My name is Rob Sima. Again, you can see it on my screen. I am still adding people. Amazing. This is a lot of fun. Look at this. 41 people. Cool. Welcome. I am a Sub 2 student. Look at that. We got Crystal. Wow. Look at all these people. There's so many people. I'm just pressing admit like repeatedly over and over again. Okay. I like to do my elephant Zooms pretty loose format, which means that if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hands and ask questions and it'll queue you up. If you're new to Zoom and the whole platform and how everything is done, at the bottom of your screen, if you're on a desktop or laptop or whatever it is, at the bottom of your screen, there's a little button called reactions. You can press that button and there will be something that says raise hand. If you press that, it will raise your hand and it will put you into the queue. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about real estate. But they're going to have to be focused on Elephant Challenge. What is Elephant Challenge? Elephant Challenge is based on the premise that we eat an elephant one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we're trying to teach people very, very little steps that they can take that are going to give them positive movement in their business, in their abilities, in their goals in real estate. And the method in real estate that we're using is wholesaling. Now, what is wholesaling? Wholesaling is pretty much what it sounds like. We're buying properties at a lower price and turning around and selling them at a higher price. That spread between there is what's called our assignment fee. Okay, so we're trying to wholesale properties, buying them out, just like my buddies who buy sneakers at Costco and turn around and sell them for like $50 more on Amazon. Same basic idea. But obviously this is kind of a little bit more complicated than buying sneakers at Costco. Perfect. Elephant Challenge is focused on a particular kind of wholesaling. So Elephant Challenge is focused on finding on-market properties, that is properties that are listed on the MLS, the multiple listing service, and trying to get those properties locked up under contract at a lower price. Hopefully, well, it's going to have to be a lower price than what's listed, than what it's selling for on Zillow, for example. Right? Let's think about this. If you find a property that is listed on Zillow for $200,000 and you try to bring it to someone like me, a buyer, and you're saying, hey, I have this property listed for $200,000. Are you interested in it? You're not really providing value yet, because I can bypass you and I can go straight to Zillow and MLS or the agent myself and get it myself. So you're not really providing value there. Now you can say, well, I got it, $10,000 or $15,000 cheaper. You're still not providing value there. Why? Well, because if you're going to you're bringing a property to a buyer to wholesale it, you should be making money. And that is typically that assignment fee, right? And most wholesalers in America are charging somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 for their assignment fees to end buyers. So you're still bringing the property to a buyer at the list price. Even if you lock it up $10,000 to $15,000 under the list price, when you attach your assignment fee to it and bringing it to an end buyer, you're still at market. You're still at MLS rates. So it's still not a good deal. You need to be buying significantly under what the MLS is listing it for in order to make it a deal that is enticing for an end buyer. Okay, we're looking at on-market properties. We're not looking at off-market properties. So we're probably not going to be dealing a lot with foreclosures. We're probably not going to be dealing with distressed sellers too much. We might be, depends on why they're listing. So I hope that's been a pretty good short introduction. Now, this week is the next Elephant Challenge, starting tomorrow, actually. If you are not signed up for Elephant Challenge, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Even my circle's working. pacejmorby.com/invite. pacejmorby.com/invite is the website where you go and register for tomorrow's Elephant Challenge. You need to register for it. You cannot just jump into the Zoom. You need to be registered. And when you register for it, there's two things that happen. Number one is, well, you probably should already be in the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group. Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, get in there. There's lots of stuff happening there. Lots of awesome people. Sub-2 students are in there all the time, helping out, providing value to people who are not in Sub-2, people who are trying to do their first deal, people who are trying to do their 1,000th deal. right? We're happy to help. We're happy to serve. And our goal is to team up with you, to squat up. We call it squatting up. Another term you might hear a lot is JV. That means joint venture. So we're happy to team up with you and help you get some properties under contract. We can help you negotiate them. We can help you comp them and underwrite them, submit contracts on them. We can help you dispo. That means dispose of, sell. So a dispo is slang for we can help you sell the property to an end buyer. So where you can, what happens if you get a lead, you've comped it, you've underwritten it, you work with me or another sub-2 student, and you're able to submit a contract, and your contract gets accepted. And now you have to submit EMD, earnest money deposit. Most transactions are going to require a minimum of 1% of the purchase price put into escrow as EMD. And so you're going to say like, well, this is a $300,000 house. I don't have $3,000 to deposit for EMD. What do I do? Well, you would come to me. My name is Rob Sima. It's on the screen. I do, alongside of all the other million things I do, I also do what's called gator funding. I will partner with you. I will help you by providing your needed funding for your deal. I like to think of myself as the grease and the gears to make the deals happen. Okay, so if you ever have any deals where you need EMD, or it's one of those strange little deals where you can't assign it and you have to do, well, I'm using some technical words now. I'll go back and explain them. If you can't assign it and you need to do a double close, I can handle that stuff too. Before I go on, let me explain what an assignment fee is. Oftentimes, what we'll do as wholesalers is we will get the property under contract, right? We have a contract with the seller. And instead of closing on that transaction, like what happens in a normal real estate transaction between a buyer and a seller, instead of us purchasing that property, we will assign our contract. We will assign our right to purchase that property to another buyer. This is the process of wholesaling. We buy it at a lower price, we lock it up under contract at a lower price, and we sell it, we assign it to a buyer at a higher price. We put our fee in there. When that buyer closes the property, we get paid out our commission, and the seller gets paid out whatever the contract stipulates. Okay, so I am happy to provide any funding you need to make your deals happen. My team and I are well capitalized, and we are very well experienced in both creative deals and cash deals. We will try to talk about creative deals if we can. I'm trying to admit a few more people here. But yeah, that's what Elephant Challenge is all about. This week's Elephant Challenge is a very, very cool one, because we're focusing not only on single family homes, but we're also focusing on multifamily homes, which means 2 or greater, 2 family dwellings or greater, 2 units or greater. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting one. We're in for a wild ride. All right, so just get ready for that. If anyone has any questions about anything I've spoken about, or you need further clarification, I know I'm being super basic, but I don't want to discount that, because I know that there's new people here, and there's nothing wrong with being new, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, and there's nothing wrong with taking imperfect action. And even if you fall flat on your face, Rob Sima is here to help you. Don't worry. We can fix pretty much any situation. Okay. Because sometimes what happens is, you know, it could be pretty scary, right? If you haven't done this before, it could be scary. Like, man, I've never called anyone before. I've never called an agent before, right? We're because they're on market properties, that means that they're being the seller is being represented by an agent. So we're going to be interacting with agents. And you'll say, well, I've never called an agent before. I have no clue what to say. Don't worry, you're in the perfect place. We can help with that. You might say, well, Robert, you've said some interesting things about locking up properties at lower prices. I'm not sure what properties are worth. How do we figure out what a property is worth? How much should I be offering on it? Well, that's a process we call comping, where we take that property and we compare it to all the other properties around it. And then we'll do something called underwriting, where we will see if that property is actually a deal. Because a property might look good at first, but it might not be a deal. Because we have to ultimately think about what does our end buyer want to do with that property, right? If it's a property that's already fixed up in fantastic condition, that's probably not going to be a property that a fix and flipper is going to want. It might be a property that a buy and holder who's going to rent it out will want, but we need to underwrite that deal. Okay. And then you'll say, well, I haven't called an agent. I've never comped. I've never underwritten. I've never submitted an offer before. I've never submitted a contract before. We are here to help you. I am here. If you're sub 2 and here tonight, there's 63 people in here tonight. If you're sub 2, please put a 10 in the chat. Let everybody know you're here. If you're not sub 2 and you're here for the first time, check out all these people who are here to help you. Literally, we are here to help. All these people are trained. Listen, any one of these people here, except for whoever the wise guy is who named themselves Zoom user. Come on, you can change your name so we know who you are. I love it. We can pick on each other because, oh, look at that. Joel Giergall just came in. Love it. Oh, Alan Knowles. Look at this guy. Sub 2, Astro, and a freaking lawyer. Like, if you're in the right place, you drew the good card. All right. You won the lottery. You're in Rob Sema Zoom. This is the freaking best Zoom in all of Elephant Challenge. Beside the actual Elephant Challenge Zoom. Okay. So, James Hunt, nice to see you, brother. Is there any questions about that? Feel free to raise your hands. We'll talk about that. I'm drinking my Red Bull at 7:30 at night. Mike Yeager, yeah. Alan Knowles is an Astro Flipper. Jordan Okorori. Let me pull you up here.
Yes, sir.
A second. Let's see. Bang! Look at that. There you are.
Okay.
How about you, sir? Is this
Well,
your
it's good to chat with you. I appreciate your help earlier. You're the best, man.
Yes, sir. On that topic, everyone's got my handle. It's on screen at the Rob Sema. There's a lot of Rob Semas, but I am the Rob Sema. And you can find me. I'm the Rob Sema on every single social that exists. But I don't use all of them. I just saved my handle on all of them, you know. So I prefer, my preferred method of communication is Facebook Messenger or Discord or Instagram. This will be on, dang, am I recording this? Yes, I am. This will be on my YouTube channel, the Rob Sema. I'm the same place everywhere. So if you want to see yourselves on YouTube, you guys are all going to be on YouTube, and you can reference this video anytime you want. Then if you have any questions, you can reach out to me via any of those social platforms, including Discord. I am the Rob Sema on Discord too. Jordan, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well, man. It's good to be on the Zoom. So my
Absolutely.
main
Hold on.
question though for you, brother, is mainly this. So I was looking into, I just got into Elephant Challenge, got on the call, like just, as soon as I seen Pace's YouTube and everything that was going on, I've been interested in real estate for a long time. Rich Dad Poor Dad, you seen Robert Kiyosaki? I saw Robert Kiyosaki talking about zero money down, and I went crazy searching and I found Pace. So that was just amazing. But for me, I'm a young guy. When it comes to getting out of analysis paralysis, and hopping into like action that moves you somewhere, what would you say? I don't know if you were like how you started, if you were like an overthinker or if you just kind of got straight to it. I'm just curious what your opinion is, for people like me who are just starting out, and just getting into the action, not looking at how to do things and overloading yourself on information, but taking more action than we are sitting down and watching YouTube videos. What is your response to that?
Sure. There's a few things that you're going to need to do and to know. Number one, Elephant Challenge in general. Now, the multifamily one is going to be slightly different, okay? Because it's a different market that we're trying to target, okay? But in general, Elephant Challenge necessitates the use of a software called Privy, okay? Privy. Okay. If you're sub two and you know what Privy is, please put the link in the chat. I can't remember. Start with Privy, I think. I think it's startwithprivy.com/Laura. You don't have to mute yourself, brother. Just keep
My
yourself
bad.
unmuted. Yeah, you don't have to mute yourself. I gotcha. Yeah, I think it's start with Privy.
Yeah. And is it promo code
.com
PACE
slash
still?
Laura. Yeah, so do .com/Laura and then do promo code PACE. And that should give you a discount. Get Privy now. That's correct. Getprivynow.com/Laura, promo code PACE, and that'll get you a discount on the first month if you're doing a month to month. Okay. You can also do the year-long thing. I don't think you need to do it if you're just starting out because it's a big expense. And it's wise of you to keep your expenses low until you start to make some traction, okay? So number one is learn how to use Privy. It's not complicated. It'll take you, if you played with it for one day, you'd figure out how to use it pretty well. Spend some hours on it, you'll get it. On top of that, Privy itself does training on their website, and Privy also does training on YouTube, and almost all of Astro people use Privy. A lot of sub two people use Privy. It's starting to get well known in the community, well known in all of wholesaling and real estate. So there is lots of content related to how to use Privy on YouTube. Go to YouTube University and learn how to use Privy, okay? And it's not going to take you too long. It's not super complicated. It's pretty easy. Now, you've kind of figured out how to mess around with Privy. What do you do? Now it's time to talk about like your business hat, right? Now we're talking about what we call KPIs. Are you familiar with what KPI means? Key
Yes,
performance
sir.
indicators, right?
Keep it for me,
How
yeah.
many properties am I comping a day? How many am I underwriting? How many agents am I calling today? Right? How many offers am I submitting? Now, all of this stuff is new, right? If you haven't done any wholesaling, each of these, okay, finding the property, comping the property, underwriting the property, negotiating and putting that property under contract, and disposing the property. There's 5 areas that wholesaling covers, right? Each of these areas is its own world that necessitates a certain kind of skill, right? So all of that to say you shouldn't be surprised that you're having a lot of difficulty, right? You're learning how to walk right now. Like you're barely crawling, right? Things are going to be, there's going to be lingo that's going to be complicated. There's going to be ideas and concepts that might take you forever to get. That's okay. The reason it's okay is because you have people here to help you, right? So learn how to do one thing at a time, get quasi comfortable with it, and then go to the next thing, which is to say, don't do all those things by yourself. Team up, squad up, JV with people, right? Some people are great with numbers. Are you a good with numbers guy?
Not really. More creative guy.
Right. So how would you feel about running numbers all day?
Not the best.
Exactly. That's not what your avatar, you're not fit for that role necessarily. You can do it if you had to, similar to me, right? If I had to do it, I would do it and I'd figure it out and I'd be fine.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Certain people, they are afraid of talking on the phone, right? Certain people, they couldn't negotiate a contract if their life depended on it, right? Certain people are afraid of money, right? Certain people are afraid of whatever. There's lots of things people are afraid of, right? You're here in Rob Seema's Elephant Challenge to learn that it's okay to suck at things. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be good at something.
Yeah.
We're going to team up. We're going to do it together. So all that to say is I'm going to repeat this so many times. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. I don't think people realize that. You guys have my permission to make mistakes. You guys have my permission to suck at it. And you guys have my permission to bring me whatever problem you have. And I will JV with you on everything you bring me. And if we close on it, we'll all get paid.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not having to carry the whole weight of all of those steps by yourself at the beginning. You shouldn't. It's too much.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to be overwhelmed. This is a business you can go get overwhelmed in real quick. Right? Because what happens if by some accident you happen to get 2 properties under contract and your contracts are approved? What would you do? Most people would completely freak out and have no idea what to do next. They would be paralyzed by fear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all happy to work together with you. There's sub 2 people here who can do every single step of that. They're super experienced in every single step of that. They're happy to team up with you and help you get your first deal, your 10th deal, whatever it is. All right, we're all here for you. That's literally why we do Elephant Challenge. It's to help new people learn how to do this business. Okay, so once you get used to once you get, like we said, quasi comfortable with one of those steps, put a KPI behind it, right? So if you're finding and comping properties and you've got, let's say, an hour a day to do it, or 2 hours a day, right? Figure out how you can get good at finding and comping properties and figure out how many you can get done in that hour, right? I'm going to be much faster at finding a property and comping and underwriting it than you are.
True.
Right? Not because I'm smarter necessarily, but because of repetition.
Yeah.
Familiarity, reps. I put in more reps. I know what I'm looking for much faster. I know pretty quick, within 10 minutes, if this is going to be a deal or no deal. It might take you an hour to do one property. It might take you 2 hours to do one property.
Yeah.
Who cares? No problem. That's fine, right? Do one property and then do another. And in a week or 2, you're going to be able to do 2 properties in an hour. And then a week after that, you might be able to do 3 properties, and your KPIs are getting better, right?
Right.
And you've comped a property and you know, hey, this property is a deal, this property is not a deal. The ones that are a deal, you bring to Rob or you bring to any of the sub 2 students here, and we'll be happy to negotiate it and get that under contract for you. We'll be happy to find someone to dispo, right? Let's say you get reps in, you get that process learned quickly how to comp and underwrite,
Mhm.
and you're afraid to do it, right? You're afraid to call an agent and ask about the property, but you really want to do that. Like you want to learn. You're someone like me who like, I'm trying to do things that are super uncomfortable because I want to get better.
For
Okay.
sure.
But you're deathly afraid of the phone, right? I tell people all the time, this is what your job is. You find the agent's phone number, you put it into your phone, you hit the green button, and then you hit the red button. Do that 10 times. And then you'll see that dialing a number is not scary. Okay. And then the next day, you'll hit the green button and you'll say, hello. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have the wrong number. And you'll hit the red button and you'll do that 10 times. And you'll see that no agent's going to kill you. And there's nothing scary about it. And then the day after that, or the week after that, you'll hit the green button and you'll say, hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm calling about property on 321 Backwoods Lane. Is it still available? Thanks. Okay, bye. Like super granular baby steps are still KPIs that can be monitored and improved. Right?
Right.
So take baby steps, go super slow and granular, measure, track what you're doing, because if you can track it, you can improve it. Right? Don't worry about learning the whole process. Like, listen, from my point of view, obviously wholesaling is not a very complicated process, but
Right.
I'm not smarter than you guys. I've just been around a little bit longer.
Right.
Right? You guys can totally do this. There's nothing in real estate that is so complicated that a normal person couldn't do it.
Right.
Cool. What other questions do you have, Mr. Jordan?
I think for me, it's like, I mean, that's honestly really good. I've watched the Elephant Challenge videos. For the most part, it goes up to like I just watched them, and like now I'm kind of going back through them, watching them in order. I found the little playlist that has like these are the order of all the YouTube playlists for the Elephant Challenge. But
Yeah.
my main question is like, okay, I'm going in from I'm starting with like I'm in there. I'm in Privy. I have like a little bit of a grasp on Privy. Like when it comes to going in there, finding the like properties that are already sold, and then comparing those to the properties that are still on market. I'm familiar with that. There's the investor tab that kind of gives you the good deals, but I sent some deals to some people in sub two, and I thought they were deals because it looked good to me. But then I realized that the not only was like the margins very slim, but like I would end up having to pay out of pocket and things of this nature. And that's just I just have to keep comping properties every single day. But it's more like, can I call agents now? Can I call buyers now? What is when do I know I'm ready to start calling buyers and agents? And then when I call buyers as a younger person, I'm calling them and I'm saying, hey, like, I want to build a relationship, and I'm a real estate investor in the area, blah, blah, blah. This is what we're doing. This is the different area codes. I want to know more about you. I've watched videos on people calling buyers and things of this nature, but I don't know. Like if I called the buyer tomorrow, like literally tomorrow, and I was just started doing these things, is it too early? Like when it comes to action steps and these KPIs, like you were talking about, I even took notes saying, okay, find a property comp it, underwrite it. Obviously, getting it under contract is having conversations with the buyer and the seller. So I don't know. This is kind of the question that is like, what can I start doing today? What is too early to do? What should I wait on doing?
Okay. Do you know how to comp a property? Oh, you muted yourself. Sure.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, comping a property, I'm not good at it yet. I think I need to get better at. I understand how to look at like properties that are similar in terms of have the same, like twin properties have the same beds, same baths, things of that nature, and saying, okay, well, this is lower. Like this price is lower compared to all the other comps, but this not
Let
the
me ask you
full
a question.
numbers. Yeah.
Has anyone ever told you you're an overthinker?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's do step one. Okay. Everyone who's here, 61 people, we're going to do step one today. Step one is pick a market. Okay. We're going to use the privy method. So, oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. You guys find me? Look at that. I'm here. Okay, let's do privy. I just had privy open. What's going on here? Oh my goodness. I gotta reset my computer and now everything's all screwed up. Give me 1 second. So first thing we're gonna do is pick a market. How do we
That's
know
the
what
Tampa.
market?
Oh, my bad.
What? Go ahead, ask. What was their question?
No, I was saying Tampa. I live in Florida and I just chose Tampa because the bubbles were the
Perfect.
biggest in Tampa.
Perfect. And I'm not talking necessarily to you directly. I have like 60 other people here who I'm using you as my guinea pig. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna pick a market. We're gonna pick our market using privy. You following? The reason
Yes.
we're gonna use privy is because we have these little blue areas. You guys can all see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Privy in the blue areas has MLS access. What does that mean? That means that it's got the best data available in the blue areas. That's one. Okay. Number two, we want to be in areas where there's business happening. Sometimes we're under this impression like, I want to go and do business where no one's doing anything, so I don't have competition. That really doesn't work in real estate. Okay. You need to be in an area where there's lots of business happening, lots of turnover happening, because that's where people want to be. You following?
Yeah.
Okay. So we pick a market that's in one of these blue dots. Let's further refine, further filter our market selection. So I am only buying in red states. Sorry if you're against that politically. I'm not talking about politics. I'm buying in red states because they're typically better for a landlord. The laws are more landlord friendly. You following me? And I'm buying in sunny states. You're in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in Texas now, but I wasn't originally from Texas. I was from up here in Portland.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Portland, it's freaking cold and wet.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm somewhere where it's December 6th and it's like 70 degrees outside. Okay. Sunbelt states are where you want to be.
Yeah, for sure.
2, 3. Our third selection criteria is I want to pick a market that has a net positive migration pattern. Are you following? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
People are moving there.
Right.
Okay. Net positive migration pattern. How do I find out where people are moving? Okay. What I do is I go to this thing called Google, and I type in U-Haul moving statistics. Okay. And U-Haul publishes an interesting list. Let's see, did I find the right one? Here, look at this. 2021, what is this telling us? This is where people are using trucks to move to. Texas, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Arizona, Indiana, Colorado, Maine. You see these? These are where you should be looking for properties. Any questions about that?
No.
Anybody have any? Okay. Oh man, I'm so terrible. I forgot about the chat. I'm going to take 2 seconds and answer the chat. Okay, let's see. Hello, everybody. Hello. Everybody working markets. Boston. Who's doing Boston? What did I see Boston? Dallas. I'm working Dallas. Alan Knowles, yeah, Boston, Atlanta, Tampa. Mike Yeager's Houston. He's a Texas man through and through. Is the sub 2 group separate from Pace's Facebook group? So there are 3 groups. There's the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, which is a public Facebook group. There's the sub 2 Facebook group, which is a private sub 2 group. There is the Gator Method group, which is private, and there's Astro, which is a whole nother group. Okay. If you sign up through pacejmorby.com/invite, you get access to the private, it's not private, it's quasi-public, Pace Morby's Discord channel where you can see all things elephant. Okay. Oh man, I keep forgetting it. Don Walker, I forgot to add you. Sorry, now you're here. All right. Any more questions? Sub 2 members, yes. Thank you, Gator. Gators help make the dreams and deals come true. Yes, they do. Yep. Calls, perfect tens. Okay, I'm halfway there. Let's see. I have a good potential off-market deal in Dallas. I need help with double closing. Evan, hit me up, man. I'm happy to help. Privy, we got all that stuff. Lots of trainings. Man, I'm so terrible at the chat. It's okay. It looks like all the sub 2 students are jumping in the chat and helping out. I appreciate that. Everybody really, thanks for that. Okay. So we've kind of got our market picked out. Okay. What do I do next? What do I do next, Jordan?
After you pick your market, you learn how to comp, right? Start looking at property.
We got to find some properties and then we have to comp them. What's comping mean?
Comping means to, I don't remember
This is
the
real
analogy.
estate slang.
Yeah,
What comping mean?
You got to look at comparable properties that are similar to the one that
exactly.
Yeah.
Pace. Comparables. We're looking at comparables in order to determine what the value of our subject property is. Okay. Let's jump in and do that. Let me go back to this. Okay. So we picked our market. Is there a particular market you want to look at or does it matter? You want to look at something in Florida?
Tampa for sure.
Tampa. Oh my goodness. Tampa. No, I'm just kidding, man. Tampa's good. All right. Where's my little okay. I want to get rid of this. Let's see, filter, reset. Okay. So now I'm looking at everything that pops up. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're here and you're wondering like, what is up with all this? It looks like blue chicken pox on the screen. Okay, what we're looking at is the bigger the bubbles, the bigger the numbers, is the more properties have been in, the more business has been done there. Okay, more properties have been sold. So I like this big number, 43, because it's the biggest one. So that's the one I picked. Okay. So there's a lot of properties on the screen. How do I know which one to go for?
Mhm.
How would you pick, Jordan?
Um,
Everybody,
at
everybody put in the chat. How do you pick? There's so many of them. Just in this little Zoom, little screen, there's like 50 properties.
I
107.
honestly
Look
pick
at that.
randomly. I really don't know if there's like a way you should pick.
Okay. You know how I pick?
No.
I just find the lowest number on screen.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
It's literally that. That's what I do. So far, I like this 265 one,
Mhm.
but that's too easy. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. Look at this 295 one. Okay. I'm picking this one for a very particular reason.
Mhm.
Okay. The reason I'm picking it is because there's other properties around it.
Okay.
It's literally
Okay.
why. I'm not picking this one way over here because the number, I don't like the number, and it's kind of on its own lonesome out here. You see that? So I'm going to zoom in on this property. I'm going to click on it,
Mhm.
and it's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Beautiful. If you're bringing properties to Rob Sema, I like to have minimum 3-bed, 2-bath.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Whoa, now we're jumping into a very
Yeah.
serious thing called a buy box. All right.
Okay.
What are we talking about? What the heck is this thing called a buy box? Do you know what a buy box is?
Yeah, it's especially when you're talking to buyers, it's huge. Like what do they like? What's the lowest price that they'll go for, the highest price that they'll go for? And like essentially what are they usually doing with properties? And that has a lot to do with why they would choose a certain range. And then it also has to do with beds and baths and stuff like that. But it's essentially the parameters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It has to do with, do you prefer blondes or brunettes?
So exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
prefer tall or short, inside or outside? Like that's what you're trying to figure out, right?
Right.
And I have very particular reasons for why I choose my buy box. And my buy box is formed mostly by my family. What do I
Okay.
mean by that? What do I mean by that?
Mhm.
Here's my thinking. I have a wife, and when it was just me and my wife, we could make a small little condo studio work, right? One
Right.
bed, a studio, a bathroom. That's all we needed, right? Then we had our first baby,
Mhm.
okay? And baby can stay in the room with you for a little while, but then they need their own room,
Yeah.
okay? And so now you got like 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, right?
Yeah.
It's doable. It was doable for us for a few years. And then we had a daughter, right? And baby 2 came around. Okay.
Mhm.
Now it's like, okay, well, we can still make 2 bedroom, 1 bath work, but it'd be nice to have a second bath.
Mm.
Okay. So now we're looking at houses that are 2 bed, 2 bath. And then the second baby came, was a boy,
Yeah.
and the third baby came, who was also a boy. And now big sister doesn't want to be with little brothers anymore. She needs her own space.
Yeah.
And now we need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths,
Mhm.
right? Have you ever been in a house where it's been the whole family and they've shared 1 bathroom? It's miserable.
Yeah.
Everybody's sharing the bathroom, and then you have guests coming over and they're all seeing all your toothpaste all over the sink and your hair in the shower strainer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You follow me? 3 bed, 2 bath. When you're wanting to rent to a family or sell to a family,
Mhm.
that's the minimum most families will look at, 3 bed, 2 bath. So that's where I start. 3 bed,
Okay.
2 bath. Okay. So I like this property. It fits Robert's basic buy box of a 3-bed, 2-bath. Okay. Now, how this property is listed, see this little blue, oh, hold on. There we go. This property is listed. It's got this blue little box here. See this? This is telling us we have MLS data, which is the best kind of data to have.
Right.
Okay. Some properties won't have MLS data. It'll have third-party data, is what Privy calls it.
Mhm.
And that just means it's data that is sourced from public records. Okay. Most real estate property, same thing as Zillow and Redfin, will
Mhm.
use public data, and they might not have MLS data access in that area. MLS data access is something that the various companies have to pay for. Okay. To have access to
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So to get this MLS data in Tampa, Privy had to pay for this. They pay a subscription fee to it. Okay. So when I'm first starting comping, I like to think about what I'm doing as a story. Humans are all about story. We understand things better when there's stories attached. You following?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is build a story in my head about this property. What's going on with it? Who were the people who lived here? Who is this property going to be a good fit for? That sort of thing. I'm trying to build a story in my head. So the most important part of the story is right here in this area. 3-bed, 2-bath. I know it's 1,118 square feet, 1-story. Sometimes there's little things like, see right here, sometimes there's like a whole bunch of little pictographs here, and there's a
Mhm.
key for them that we can click on, and we can see it's a pre-foreclosure. That's very interesting. That's something that we can talk about eventually, but not today.
Hmm.
So now I want to look at pictures. Let's look at some pictures. It's a very interesting house. Not my favorite green, but ooh, now we're looking at something very different.
Mhm.
You see that?
Yeah, it's
No,
different.
no, 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 no. I apologize. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Okay,
Okay.
I apologize. No, it's the same house. So
Gotcha.
let's think about this for a second. To frame our discussion, right? Oh man, I keep having to admit people and I keep forgetting about it. Let's frame our discussion, right?
Mhm.
Do we, and we have to also think about some other things. We have to think about multiple things at once when we're comping.
Mhm. Okay.
Are we going to want to buy a house? Let's say, so I'm an electrician. I do renovations. I've done fix and flips, that sort of thing before. I'm super comfortable with projects of pretty much any size, up
Okay.
until big commercial projects, right? I've done commercial electrical, I've run projects, that sort of thing. I'm a very different kind of person than someone who's maybe fix or flipping their first or second home.
Right.
You following?
Yeah.
Like I can walk into a house and within 10 minutes, I can tell you everything that's wrong with the property, like
Mm.
down to the studs,
Wow.
right? I can open up an electrical panel and tell you everything that's going on with the electrical, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's because I'm in construction, I'm a tradesman. I have done this. I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Very different than a first or second time home flipper. Now, as a person who has done a ton of construction, I will not do properties that have been, for example, had fire damage.
Mm.
I won't. Or have been flooded. I don't even look at them. If they're like fire damaged, move on. I don't spend any time with it. Why? You're gonna have to do fire remediation.
Mm.
Let's say it's a fire damaged property, right? You're gonna have to go into like literally have an inspector come and inspect every stud to make sure that they're still strong. If the fire was put out with water, now you've got water damage to contend with.
Mm.
Okay. After a fire, sometimes properties sit for a while the whole insurance process is happening.
Mhm.
And because they were put out with water, there's now mold.
Mm.
And now you got to deal with mold. Okay. Can you see why this is already way too complicated?
Yeah,
I do projects and this is not a project I'm interested in.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to be looking at those properties. Let's think about some more things. Because of the current economic climate, is the economy getting better or worse?
Definitely worse.
Okay. So am I wanting to take on a big project where it might take me 4, 5, 6 months to do, not knowing that maybe in 3 or 4 months, the economy is going to have another 10% drop, 20% drop. And maybe the numbers I've run early on were valid and great numbers, but now because the economy has dropped and I still have another 2, 3, 4 months of holding time and renovation time, my property's worth less than what I bought it for, and it's
Mm,
going to sell less than what I'm putting into it. So Robert doesn't want to take on big projects,
right.
not in this economic condition. I want things that I can be in and out of in 2 or 3 months. You following?
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for total gut jobs. If I
Mm,
have to take a house down to the studs, mm, mm, mm,
yeah.
you know, the numbers would have to be really good. You understand?
Yeah,
If
that
I
makes
have
sense.
to redo all of the electrical and all the plumbing and all the HVAC,
Mhm,
uh, I mean, it could be done. Make
mhm,
sure your numbers are good. Make sure you can do it quick. But we remember, like all renovations, all constructions, every project I have, without exception, every single one has
wow.
been over budget and has taken longer than expected. Every single one, the times that it's been on time and under budget have been 0.
Wow.
Okay. Never happens. You always miss something. You're always, another thing I don't want is I don't want to do any projects where I'm going to have to pull a permit.
Mm, yeah. They take
Okay.
a long time.
Now there's various kinds of permits, right? Not all permits are created equal,
Mhm,
right? Because doing a panel change on a house, I can get a permit quick for that, right? And inspections comes quick for that. But changing some things in a house is way different than adding a bathroom as an addition.
mm,
You know,
gotcha.
certain cities are gonna make you get a permit for moving a wall, right? I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm not interested in that. Not right now. Okay, so we need to frame our property hunt and our comping based on some ideas. Okay,
Right. That helps.
let's
That
go.
makes sense.
Let's go back to. Let's go back to our. Okay, so from the outside, the front of this property looks pretty decent. Oh, you know what I need to do? Let me show you guys what I need to do. I need to give you guys a copy of Pace's comping rules. Okay, let me see if I can find it really quick. Okay. Pace's 15 steps to comping. Nathan Mullins, have a great one, brother. Okay, let's see. Can I paste this in here? Oh, it's too big. The file is too big. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll bring it over here next to Privy. And I'll bring this over here. All these technical fun little things, okay? So, you guys can see my notes?
Yeah.
Nope, my little
Can you
note.
share your
This is
screen?
am I not sharing it now? You guys can't see this?
I think it's because I'm on Spotlight. I think that's why.
Maybe I'm on Spotlight, just a second. I thought I was sharing. Let's remove you from Spotlight. Don't go anywhere, don't mute yourself, okay?
Gotcha.
I'm gonna pin you and then remove you. Okay, let's go back here now. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so can you read this? Is this big enough to read?
It's
Just-
bigger than it was. Some people might have a hard time.
Okay, let's see if I can. Oh, come on. Let's do it like this. Let me do it like this. I gave you guys infinity. How'd you like that? That better?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. All right. So this is, I'm happy to share this. I need to make some I need to put it somewhere and then send it off to you guys. If you DM me, I can get this to you guys. Okay. DM me and I'll make this a document that you guys can have. So paces 15 steps to comping. This is all elephant challenge stuff. Here's our goals. We want to determine the ARV, we want to determine our rental budget, and we want to determine our MAO, our maximum allowable offer, the most we can offer on this property. Okay.
Mhm.
Use Privy. We already been sniffing out our property, kind of getting an idea about it. We've determined we need to talk about this, determine our search area. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's do this. Okay, let's go to this one. So I want to, man, I keep hitting the wrong button. I want to determine. Okay, so I'm looking in this property.
Mhm.
Is this property retail ready? Is it renovated? Is it fixed? Is it all nice like how you see in HGTV?
No, not yet.
No, this is crap floor on the tiling.
Yeah.
This is crap tile on the floor. This is there's couch marks all along the walls. They haven't painted. The blinds are from the 70s. They left all of the cable stuff on the floor. Like, I want to know what's going on with this property. Okay.
Mhm.
It looks like they painted the cabinets and put new hardware on to make it look
Mhm.
modern.
Mhm.
Okay. Now there's no way these are new cabinets. Absolutely no way. Look
No.
at and they you know what they did here? They rattle canned them, spray paint.
Wow.
And they did it with a matte flat black on this, and they put new handles on it. They need to do the tile. There's no backsplash here. Okay. They have new appliances. I can't really tell what's going on with the counter, but it looks like it's Formica with a metal thing on the edge of it. So this kitchen needs completely to be torn out and redone.
Mm.
Okay. Completely. Yeah, I mean, you can tell these are old cabinets. Need new, I mean, I guess they're newish, whatever. I mean, that looks terrible, right? Needs a little bit of work. Bathroom is decent, but needs some work. Okay.
Mhm.
You can probably get by with a really good acid clean. The countertop probably needs to be replaced, but everything
Mhm.
else in here looks decent. I would get a white mirror so that it kind of matches everything, or
Right.
do black hardware and black mirror or something, but needs a little bit of work, a little bit of paint, a little bit of cleaning up here and there. Closet doors need to be done.
Mm.
Okay. So this bathroom is hideous, first off, because there's four different finish types. Look at the counter. It's like purplish. Then you have the square brown. Then you have whatever the zebra crap is. And then you have a way different brown compared to this brown and compared to this, whatever. And the floor, look, they even have square tile on the floor between. This is a tiling nightmare, is what this
Mm.
is. All this needs to be torn out and redone. All of it. That's problem number one. Problem number two is, How do you adjust the water temperature of the shower while you're in the shower?
Oh,
You see how all the handle and stuff is outside?
oh, yeah, that's problematic.
Am I missing something? Or is this a towel bar? Maybe that's a
I don't
towel.
know.
Maybe this is the toilet thing. I can't tell. But anyway, this is a terrible room. Look how narrow it is, but whatever. Definitely needs yard work. Definitely needs yard work. Heck of a lot of yard work.
Huh.
It's a fantastically big yard though. That's great.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell in the last picture. Let me double check. So I can't see a good enough view, but this looks like it's an HVAC unit that's maybe in decent shape. So that would need to be evaluated. Probably new deck, new everything outside. Okay. Beautiful, but beautiful. Anyway, so now we ask ourselves a question.
Okay.
And again, I'm stressing this. This is taking us a long time. Right? It's
Mhm.
okay. I'm explaining everything super slow. You're going to be doing reps and you're going to get better at this, and it's not going to take you so long, right? This is
Right.
going to take me an hour, and that's okay because I'm helping you guys. Now, we ask ourselves questions. Is this property in needing lipstick repair? Is it needing a gut job? Is it needing light rehab, heavy rehab? What's going on here?
I
Right?
would definitely say somewhere in between like a mid heavy rehab to gut, somewhere in between there.
Okay. Do you think all these walls need to be torn out?
No, probably not.
No. This is just paint and flooring.
Okay.
If we're only evaluating by this picture. Paint costs $200 or something like that for a 5-gallon bucket. Flooring is like a 2,000 square foot house at $3 a square foot of flooring is
Mhm.
$6,000.
Okay.
So far, just based on this picture, we're about 6,200 in, just
Okay.
based on this one picture. Okay. Now, that would be lipstick, right? Paint, flooring, carpet, that's lipstick stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
The problem is where you're going to run into the major things, kitchens.
Mm.
Okay. If you go to IKEA, which is the cheapest I know of, unless you go to a wholesaler or something. I mean, IKEA is not the cheapest. I can find cheaper, but a kitchen like this is probably going to be several thousand for the cabinets.
Mm.
Okay. Countertops all the way around plus tile backsplash, you're looking at another few thousand. Okay. Stuff's
Okay.
not cheap anymore. Like inflation's
Yeah.
gone crazy. You could probably make these appliances work. They're stainless steel and they might be fine. You could probably
Mhm.
make them work. So oh, I click on the wrong one. Definitely flooring, paint. Um, I wouldn't say this is a full gut job. We don't have to go and touch every little thing and tear everything out, but it's
Mhm.
definitely not a lipstick quick job either,
Mhm.
right? Countertops. This bathroom is okay. This is lipstick, paint, and flooring. Paint and flooring, a door here, that's not a big deal. What's a
Mhm.
door at Home Depot? Like 100, $200, whatever it is.
Right.
Same thing here, another couple $100. Um, there's no laundry room. Laundry's done in the main bath.
Mm.
Um, and then this whole thing. So that me, if it was me, I would gut this bathroom.
Okay.
Everything comes out. Everything comes out of this bathroom. Personally, that's me personally. Like I, I'm a stickler when it comes to bathrooms and kitchens and tile work. Floor,
Mhm.
like finishes to me are make or break. What is up with these little? Look at this. Look at where the handles are for the sink. Like
Yes.
this needs to be gutted. Everything needs to be redone. Okay. That's what I would do. So you're going to be spending easy, you know, multiply or all the tile. You might be able to make this cabinet work if you like that style, but it doesn't match anything else in the house. So I would want to replace this so it matches what's going on in the rest of the house. New
Mhm.
countertops, new sinks. If you're gonna tear a toilet out, you might as well put a new toilet in. That's 100, 200 bucks at Home Depot.
Mhm.
This is also cosmetic, paint and carpet, maybe a new fan, okay? And we already know that we need a decent amount of yard work. You know, all this needs to be power washed. The outside needs a paint job,
Mhm.
but it's not a gut job.
Right.
This isn't something where we're gonna have to go and do a bunch of demo other than the bathrooms and the kitchen, right?
Mhm.
So let's go back to our page, which is right here. Okay. I'm gonna skip around a little bit. So we're determining our ARV right now, and we're
Mhm.
determining what our reno is. And here's the numbers that we like to use in determining rehab costs. Okay. So we're gonna say not a lipstick, not a gut job, basic reno. Agreed?
Okay. Yeah.
A basic reno. $40 a square foot. So $40 a square foot times our subject property, which is $1,118. So this is my girl's phone and I can't figure out where all her stuff is. So $40 times 1,118 gives us about $44,700. Okay. Our rental costs so far. Okay.
Okay.
Now, are we done there? No,
Of course not. We still got to look at the enemies too, right?
we're not even close to being done. Okay. Give me 1 second. I see some stuff in the chat. Let me go back to the chat and double check to make sure everybody's okay in the chat. Where is my chat? I don't even see where my chat is. My computer's running really slow. If I crash, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. Crystal grandma left her dentures. Gray spray paint everywhere. Yep, ton of work. We're working on estimates right now. I am. Dawn knows me. She knows I'm a stickler on tile stuff. Like I hate tile stuff. And it's not, I have OCD, I think. Like if the tile's not lined up straight and perfect, it drives me crazy. People see that, you know, it needs to look good. Come on. Take some
Right.
pride in your work, people. Jeez. Okay, so it looks like everyone's good. Let me go back to sharing. Share. Share. Here we are. Okay. So $40 square foot, we're at $44,720 so far. We
Right.
know we need some exterior landscape stuff done.
Mhm.
And we saw that little deck out there. It's a pretty big yard, right? So
Mhm.
let's be on the safe side and budget 15,000
Okay.
because there's a lot there that needs to be done. A lot, right? Stuff needs to be torn out, fences need to be redone, deck needs to be redone. Let's budget another 15,000 for exterior.
Okay.
Okay. Plus 15,000. So we're at 59,000 so far. 59,720. Okay. Plus, let's see, we're not doing an addition. We add up the reno, which is 59,000 plus 15%.
Okay. Yeah.
Doing,
Right.
which is another 8,958. So 8,958 plus our 59,720 comes out to $68,678. Okay, we're roughly at about a $70,000 rehab budget.
Mm,
Would you concur on that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we are on that, $70,000 or so. Let's go back to our, let me drink my Red Bull here. Now, I want to point something out. This is just for demo, right?
Mhm.
This is not a property that we would actually use.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't be comping this property. Do you know why?
Oh, for the same reasons well, it's under contract too, right?
Yeah, this is under contract. I'm just using it as a demo, okay?
Got you.
I'm using a demo because I liked it that it wasn't like a heavy, crazy reno.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what it's gonna cost us to fix up this house, but we still haven't determined what the actual value of the house is yet,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
now we're gonna keep doing our comping. Let's read the remarks. It's 3-bed, 2-bath, concrete block. Potential, a large backyard, which we know, small workshop. Beautiful. So this is not really telling us much. We're looking at all this stuff. We can kind of get some ideas. All right, now we get to this little area of privy. Now, let's go to our cheat sheet, our comping cheat sheet, which is right here.
Mhm.
And we're gonna do is we're on number 4 right now. You guys see number 4?
Yeah.
We're gonna determine our search area. We use the pencil feature in Privy. We're gonna avoid large roads, neighborhood changes, large bodies of water, freeways, county borders, state lines, etc., etc.
Mhm.
What are we talking about? Okay. You cannot use a property that is 5 miles away from your property. It's in a different neighborhood. It's not a comparable property. We're
Right.
looking for apples to apples. If we can't find apples to apples, we're using apples to like Asian pears. Like, they're close, but they're not exact, right?
Mhm.
We're not going apples to oranges because that's way different,
Yeah.
right? A pear is closer to an apple than a apple is to an orange. You get my feel? That's the first time I ever used that example, but
Right.
so here's a little pencil feature. See this big old, what looks like a big old road here,
Yeah.
right? All these properties that are in this area right here
Mhm.
are on the opposite side of this road from where my property is.
Right.
Those are gone. I'm not gonna look at those, okay? Same with this road that here that goes east-west. See it
Mhm. Yeah.
right here? You
Sly
see that
ass.
big old mouse?
Yeah.
Okay. All the properties that are south here can't use those.
Okay.
Okay. I want to zoom in 1 click. Let's see if I can zoom in 1 click. Oh, junk. Shoot. Okay, I want to zoom in 1 click. Now, the other, so we said this road is no go, and anything past this road is a no go.
Mhm.
Can I use these properties up here?
No, you can't actually.
No, they're on the other side of this river.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Tampa. Like, this could be one of those situations where you're on the wrong side of the tracks. You're just
Right.
on the wrong side of the river. So we can't use those up here. Okay, so I'm gonna use my little pencil
Mhm.
and I'm gonna do one of these little things like this. Okay, I like this neighborhood, even though there's no properties there. I'm gonna follow this thing up here, and this is my area.
Mhm.
Okay, This is pretty much the same neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
It's like a subdivision. It's along this same road. This is pretty much the same neighborhood.
Mhm.
So I'm confident that we have enough properties here to make an accurate judgment of what my property is worth. Okay. But there's still a lot of them here. And I don't want to be spending all my time going through each of these properties. I want to
Mhm.
filter them down a little bit. Okay. Luckily, we have a way to do that. So
Okay.
when I comp properties, um, I want to, let's see, where's my where is the oh, it's not on this one. That's okay. I'll share a different one in just a few minutes. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to have a property that's as close to ours as possible, right?
Right.
So I'm just quickly looking through this up and down. The first thing I do is because of what we talked earlier about my family determining my buy box,
Mhm.
I'm looking, the first thing I'm looking at is bedrooms and bathrooms. Okay.
Mhm.
So this gray line right here for all the new privy users is our subject property, the property we're looking at. And everything below here is the other properties that are on here, right? So I see a few 2-bedroom, 1-baths. Those are not the ones I want to look at. So I'm just going to get rid of them
Mhm.
because um, I don't have ADD, but there's just too much stuff on the screen. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Then I noticed some properties, although they match us in bedrooms, they don't have the same bathrooms. So I'm going to get these also out of my way.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now all the properties I'm looking at are 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They're all one level. They're all built roughly around the same time. And I'll talk about that in a second. Lot sizes are roughly the same, right?
Mhm.
Square
Right.
feet are roughly the same. So these are pretty decent properties so far. Okay. Um, sold. I'll talk about built but first let's talk about sold. Um, Robert's rule is that if it's more than 60 days, it's not a comp.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we are, November, October, September is starting to push it.
Mm.
Okay. September is starting to push it. August is for sure pushing it.
Okay.
So I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want to see August, right? August 12th, September, October, November, that's 4 months. That's too much for me.
Yeah.
3 months, this is about 3 months, September, October, November, December, 3 months. Let's allow it for now. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the built. You'll often hear plus or minus 10 years,
Mhm.
right? You shouldn't be looking at properties that are plus or more than plus or minus 10 years for your comp. Um, that depends, right?
Mhm. Okay.
Stuff built post World War II up until about the 90s,
Mhm.
all of that in there is roughly, well, not the 90s, I shouldn't say that. From World War II up until about like the late 70s, all
Okay.
of that had very, very, very similar quality of construction.
Okay.
Knob and tube wiring, metal piping. It was actual solid wood, not the new growth forests we use for timber and lumber nowadays.
Mm.
So I'm okay with having a much bigger parameter within those years because post World War II, post war construction was pretty decent.
Okay.
Okay. You're not going to be running into Romex and PVC piping and PEX and all that sort of stuff. That stuff is much newer.
Mm.
And if it's something built in 2020, it's way different than it's something that's built in 1990. Way
Wow.
different. Way different. Okay. So I'm okay with allowing a bigger space there.
Okay.
If it was something built like in 1890, that's way, way different than something built in 1950.
Yeah.
Way different. Okay. So that post-war time period, whatever. So now we're narrowed down to these three properties compared to our subject property. Now, there's a detail here that's super critical, and is this column right here, percent of ARV.
Gotcha.
What this column is telling us is that our subject property is 79% of what this property sold for,
Mm-hmm.
right? 295 is 79% of 373. You see that?
Yeah.
295 is 128% than 230. It's higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our property is 73% of 405. You following?
Yeah, that
Following
makes
what's going on there? Okay. That's important because certain buyers will say, I'm not going to buy anything that's more than 70% of ARV.
Mm-hmm.
And in which case, we know that we're actually pretty close. If these two properties are actually comparables, we're pretty close. It's possible that we can get this property close to that 70% of ARV. However, because of the recent market changes, I can tell you 70% of ARV is way too high to lock a property up at.
Mm.
Buyers will not buy that high. It's starting to get much lower. I'm shooting for closer to, so I do a lot of stuff in DFW. I'm
Okay.
shooting for like 55 to 60% ARV if I can get it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still not done yet. I need to see if these properties are actually comparable to mine. So we have a good idea of what our property looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to go in and look at each of these individual properties. Right off the bat, I can see that this property has been fixed up.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? It looks
Yeah.
different. Not only the exterior of the house has been nice, touched up, the fence is nice, they have nice landscaping, they have a nice yard.
Right.
Clearly, there's been work done. Clearly, okay.
Clearly. Yeah.
This is a fix and flip home. You want to know how I know that? It's a
How do you
fix and
know?
flip home because it's sold in September,
Mm-hmm.
because it's staged, and
Okay.
because it's vacant. It's vacant. There's nobody who lives here. This is staged. Someone fixed and flipped it. They bought a stager in and they're selling it.
Mm.
It's clear that no one lives here.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the counters,
Yeah.
right? I have a toaster and a mixer and a coffee machine and a blah, 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 blah. It's clear nobody lives here.
Yeah.
Look at that cushion. It's perfect. No one's even sat here yet. Okay. So this is a home that's been flipped. New kitchens, new tile, new countertops, new flooring that matches throughout the whole place. You see
Yeah.
that? See how all the flooring flows from one room to another without some of those dumb little crossover transition strips?
Yeah.
All the paint matches. The ceiling is actually white compared to the walls. Everybody, please paint your ceilings flat white. Nothing, don't paint any other color. Flat white is the color you should be painting all your ceilings. Everybody looked up. Flat white. Everybody, you should paint your ceilings flat white from now on in every house you ever live in. See, it's just, this is flipped. Okay. So our property could potentially sell for this much because it's the
Mhm.
same size, same square footage, same floor plans, practically in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
This sold at 373. It's possible that ours also could sell at this price.
Okay.
Okay. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would love to live here. My wife would probably never ever open these doors, but I would still love to have them.
That's
Yard's been taken care of. It
yeah.
also has a big yard, nice flooring. You know, all the bathrooms have been touched, nice nook. the countertop looks pretty close to the mirror. Like they did a good job here,
Yeah.
you know? Tile looks fine. Beautiful. 3-bedroom. Okay, so highly likely that look at that, great curb appeal. Beautiful. Nice little planters. Okay, so our property has a very high likelihood of matching that property. Okay,
Okay.
let's take a look at this next one. Okay, this one doesn't have any data, but it has an external listing. So we can go look at that. Okay, flipped. It's staged and it's vacant. And all the colors match. Nice painted on the outside. Let me go back. You know, pretty nice curb appeal. I mean, I don't like this little walkway thing, but whatever. Same as ours, cinder block exterior. Empty, staged. It's been
Yeah.
flipped. Clearly. All the flooring matches, it all flows perfectly. New kitchen cabinets, new countertops, all stainless steel appliances. This is not a fantastic tile job. Just in this picture, I can see all the tiles all weird, not perfectly straight. I would fire that guy and have him redo them all, but that's my OCD talking, okay?
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful glass in the bathrooms.
Yeah, that's nice.
There's no mirror, so that's something that they should have done. They probably did it, but took the picture before that. Yeah, the tile's not perfect. I want my tile to be perfect. But that's my sticking point, you know.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful layout. Looks like so this bedroom they actually are using as an office, probably.
Okay.
Glass door. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous.
Very nice.
School tub. Yeah, I like this. Nice soft green, gray, beige, whatever it is. Okay, so definitely a house that's also been flipped. Look at that screen and porch. What a selling point. In Texas, that's
Yeah.
almost like a requirement. Okay, so that's been flipped. Sold for 230. Ooh, yeesh. Okay, so that sold for 230 when? October. Okay, that's something we gotta really consider. That's a big problem. Let's look at this last one. Ooh, very nice property. Sold in November.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
So
take
last
a look
one.
at this one. Let's take a look at this one. Here we go. Nice curb appeal, beautiful when you're walking up to it. This hasn't been flipped. This looks like it was, you know, it was updated for sure. But these, you know, it might have been flipped and they just left all the cabinets and stuff and repainted them. I'm getting vibes like this is not hasn't been completely redone, but could have been the homeowners who updated themselves, you know.
Right.
It's not, it doesn't feel like it's a flipped staged home. It feels like it's a home that someone's lived in and that they are doing a good job keeping ready for showings. You know, most flippers and stagers are not going to have soap in the bathroom.
True.
You know, there's a stager will never stage a bed like this so that it's got, you know, pink whatever it's called,
Like the drapes and stuff and
the drapes.
nursery bed. Yeah.
So someone lived here. Yeah, it's clearly an office, so it's not a flipped home, but it's in a great condition. And beautiful backyard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interestingly, this house, this driveway here, these cobblestone, this is so freaking expensive to do.
Mm,
Like this was done like back in the day when uh you can hire people to do this at really low prices. Now it's more expensive than concrete. This is fantastically expensive.
wow.
Yeah. In fact, it's so desired that their property taxes, they're probably paying an extra probably 1,000 to 1,500 extra a year just for the cobblestone.
Wow.
That's how Texas does stuff. I'm paying an extra 1,500 because I have about a 20 by 50 foot paved with pavers in my backyard. Yeah,
Mm,
they're charging me extra tax for that. So anyway, we have a rough idea. All these three properties are in great condition, are all flipped.
mhm.
This one right here is the wild card
Yeah,
because it's way lower. It's
like
way lower
way.
than the others,
Yeah.
but it's smaller. The lot's smaller. Square
True.
footage, it's not smaller than this one,
Hmm.
right? So now we have to figure out like, well, how much is our property worth? Because we got some quite varied prices here.
Right.
From 230 to 405, that's a $170,000 jump, right?
Yeah.
How do we figure it out? What do we do? What do you think we do?
I feel like averaging it is the wrong answer.
Why?
I don't know, because I feel like at least on this property, it definitely wouldn't be a deal. Like it wouldn't be the best deal in general if you averaged them.
Okay, the extra 15%, Rennie asked, what's the extra 15%? It's margin. We add an extra 50% of margin in our rehab costs just to play it safe. You should also add margin of time
Mm,
because sometimes things take longer. A plumber shows up, does a crappy job, so you have to fire him. You have to find another plumber. Now you're delayed a week. And then that plumber does a crap job and you have to fire him too and find a third plumber,
mm,
which happens. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so that's what that extra 15% of cost is. Um, okay. Perfect. Here's one metric that you guys should consider um, to factor in time of construction.
okay.
On average, most GCs, if they're pretty decent GCs, can get about $1,000 a day of construction done
Okay.
if they're good. Some days will be more, some days will be less. If they're a GC who is on top of it, they're experienced, they should be able to get $1,000 a day in rehab costs. Okay.
Mhm.
So when we're talking about a $70,000 rehab budget, we're talking about roughly 70
70.
days, not including weekends.
Okay.
Okay. So $70,000 will come out to roughly 3 months. So roughly 3 months
Hmm.
for rehab on our project, which makes sense, right? We
Right.
need to demo the bathrooms and the kitchen. We need to put the new ones in. We need the plumbers to come and make sure everything's good. That takes about a week. The electricians need to double check and make sure everything is good. HVAC might need to be repaired.
Mm,
Texas is notorious for having bad foundations.
wow.
So, you know, Tampa, can you live in Tampa without an air conditioner?
No, of course not.
Okay. So if your AC is down, you're gonna have to replace it. There's no negotiating that, you know.
Right.
Tearing out the bathroom is gonna take a few days. Putting the new bathroom in is gonna take a few days.
Hmm.
All the new tile work, doing the outside landscaping, maybe needs a new roof. Like all these things take
True.
time.
True.
Okay, so at a $70,000 project, you're roughly looking at around 2.5 to 3 months of construction time, provided that the GC has lined up everything, like everybody's good to go. As soon as the plumber's done, the electrician's in. As soon as the electrician's in, the HVAC guys are like, bam, bam, bam. He can get it done that quickly. Okay, $1,000 a day is a KPI that a lot of rehabbers will use when they're doing projects. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Let's go back to our discussion about averaging them all out. Why is that not a good thing? Why can't we do that?
I mean, the two things that come to mind is one, not just for this property, but in the future, it could like bring that, if it's one house that like has something that's like amiss with it, it'll bring the whole average down. So it wouldn't necessarily be like the best, you know. And then I think the second reason is just it would just make it a bad deal. The other side of it is that averaging it out is the right thing to do, and it just is what it is. But I would say, I my guess would be not to, just because like, you know, it may not always be the most accurate thing. You know, it's like when you do the 70% minus repairs for the MAO, yeah. I feel like that's like a similar thing. Like you shouldn't average it, but then again, I could be wrong.
You want to know what I do?
What do you do?
I throw my hands up in the air and I say, real estate is impossible, and I go home. No, dude, I just average it. Who cares?
Gotcha.
Just average it. Hold on a second. Jeez, I keep forgetting I have to share stuff. I think I'm caught up in the chat. Okay, just average it. So that's what I would do.
Gotcha.
Share. Let me go back to sharing. If it's a major outlier, yeah, probably you might toss it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's average it out.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
We'll do 373 plus 230 plus 405 divide by 336,000.
Okay.
Does that sound decent?
336.
Sounds decent to me.
Yes, it's decent.
Okay, we're gonna say our ARV equals 336,000. Okay, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We need to
Okay.
go and double check our comping cheat sheet. And if you look at comping cheat sheet, near the bottom, we have another number. This one right here, you guys see what I'm highlighting here? Required net profit margins. Okay.
Uh-huh.
In a market that's trending upward, most fix and flippers are okay with 10% profits. In a stagnant market, 15% of profits.
Mm-hmm.
In a market that is trending downward, fix and flippers want to make about 20% profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
Which market are we in?
I would say trending downward.
Great, let's use that one. Trending downward, 20%. So we want to take our 336 times 0.2. Oh, sorry. 336 times 0.8, right? Because we want to leave a 20% profit margin.
Okay.
No, I did it right the other. It's too late for me. 0.2. So that's 67,000.
Okay.
So we want to take our ARV of 336,000 minus the profit margin of 20%, and we come out with $269,000. Okay,
Mhm.
269,000 minus our 70,000 rehab. You following?
Right.
So I took our ARV and I subtracted the profit margin of 20%, what our fix and flipper wants to make. I subtracted the rehab costs, and now
Mhm.
we're at 199,000. Are we done yet? Is this property comped? Did we find our MAO yet? What are we missing?
Our assignment.
Our assignment fee. How much you want to make on this property for assigning it?
I mean, 20,000.
Average assignment fee in America is between 10 and 15,000.
10 and 15. Then let's do 13 then.
13. Okay, so 199 minus 13,000 is $186,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's our maximum allowable offer.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend, this is just Robert talking now.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend subtracting another 10,000.
Okay.
176,000. This is what I call our initial offer. It
Okay.
leaves us $10,000 of negotiation. Right?
Okay.
Our maximum allowable offer is 186. We're gonna start negotiating at 176, so that if they're like, oh, well, we want 200, like, okay, let's meet in the middle, like at 176
Mm-hmm.
or 186. Does that work for you? You get what I'm saying? You allow
Yeah.
yourself a little buffer there for negotiation.
Got
So
you.
our initial offer will be 176. Our MAO is 186. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go to our comping cheat sheet, which is right here. And our goal was, we've determined our true ARV, right?
Mhm.
True ARV is 336,000.
Yeah.
Our rental budget, 70,000. Our
Right.
maximum allowable offer, 186,000.
Yeah.
Okay, 186,000 divided by 336 is 55% of ARV. Was I right? That's about where I'm coming in with my properties.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah. Are we gonna and this is like just doing without adding in like the realtor costs and stuff like that, right?
Good catch. I was gonna ask if we were done. We're not done. We thought
Yeah.
we were.
Anthony and Peggy, they saved the day.
Mhm. Anthony knows because he's helping me out. Anthony's 1 month ahead of you guys in Elephant Challenge. He was here last Elephant Challenge, and he's
Wow.
submitting offers and he's bringing stuff to me, and we're gonna do some deals together. So
This is good.
absolutely, don't forget 3% seller agent fee.
Mhm.
Don't forget closing costs. If you're needing to have a agent represent you as a buyer, that's another 3%,
Wow.
right? So all the fees and all the agent fees, typically, when you're working conventionally,
Mhm.
they're somewhere around 12%.
12. Okay.
You
12%.
but because you're a real estate investor, all y'all are real estate investors who are
Mhm.
professionals in the area, we can
Mhm.
probably get it down to like 8%.
Okay.
So that's another 8%. Let's do it. So 336
336.
times 0.8% is another 26,000.
Oh,
Did I do that wrong? Hold on. 336 times 0.08. Yeah, 26,800. So we have to do fees 26. Let's call it 27,000.
Okay.
I like round numbers. For some reason. So 186, our maximum allowable offer minus 27 is actually 159
Yeah.
is what our maximum allowable offer is.
Mm-hmm.
And our initial offer is going to be 149. Okay.
Okay.
And now that changes the thing to, let's see, 159 divided by 336 gives us a 47% of ARV.
Jeez.
offer.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so somewhere around 50 cents on the dollar is what we're going to be making offers on.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Hmm.
we have more to talk about. But before we do that, I want to jump into if there's any questions. Rob, doesn't the seller always pay for realtor commissions? Not always. Often, but not always. Sometimes, yeah, we didn't factor in holding costs. Like, hey, we got 3 months of mortgage we got to pay. If we have a mortgage on it. We got 3 months of electrical and water and taxes, and all those things need to be factored in.
Wow.
Okay. Mike says he always takes 23% off comps. 8% for realtors commission, 50% for rehabbers profit. Yeah. We use 20% in the, just for our example. I usually use 50% for rehabbers profit. So that's where we're at. Now, are there any questions about that? It's 9 o'clock. I'm happy to stay on as long as you guys want. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I'm in my
Me
house,
either.
so. Do you guys want me to keep going? Or you guys want to stop? Give me a 10 if you guys want to keep going, or a 0 if you're like, I'm done with this guy, man.
10.
10. All right. Has any of this been like super overwhelming? It seems pretty easy, right? Now it's just a it's simple. It's just a matter of putting in reps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Doing this a few times, doing this a few times, doing this a few times, until you can do this a lot faster. The goal is, here's a KPI I tell all the elephant people to try to get within a month. Within a month, I spent an hour and a half comping one property. You should be able to comp a property in under 30 minutes. Within the first few weeks, you should be able to get to a point where you're comping one property in under 30 minutes. If you're devoting an hour a day to this, you should be able to comp 2 properties. Easy. Okay. Then shoot for like, I can comp one property in 20 minutes, because now you can do 3 properties in an hour. And keep practicing and keep practicing and get to the point where in an hour you can comp 4 properties. That's a great KPI. If you can comp in 15 minutes, you can comp a property. That is a fantastic KPI. For a person new to real estate, that's great. I think that's awesome. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, what would be the next step? We've found property, right?
Hmm.
Comped our property. Now we have to do what's called underwriting.
Gotcha.
Okay. Do you know what the difference between comping and underwriting is?
Underwriting, from what I've seen in the Elephant Challenge YouTube videos, underwriting is more like looking at writing the numbers down on a sheet of paper. What is going to be the like I feel like underwriting is more like going through all the numbers and then getting I'm not sure, I couldn't define it specifically though, so I'm not really
Okay.
sure.
All right. Comping helps us understand how much this property is worth and what we can offer on it. How much is this property going to be worth when it's all fixed up? How much can we offer on it now? Okay.
Mhm.
Underwriting. When we're underwriting, we need to think about our end buyer. So for our subject property, we're going to be selling this to one of 2 people. we're gonna be selling it to either a fix and flipper who's gonna be looking at it the same way we looked at it, and
Mhm,
eventually they're gonna sell it,
mhm.
right? The other person we're gonna potentially sell this to is someone who's going to, yes, fix it, but then rent it out.
Okay.
It's a way different discussion now. Because what does that person who's buying and holding and renting out, what do they need?
Cash flow.
Cash money every month. Okay. So let's figure out if this property, uh, underwriting is how we determine if a property is actually a deal.
Mm,
Okay. Up until now, all we've had was a lead.
okay.
Same letters, totally different meaning. You understand?
Mhm.
A lead and deal have the same letters, but they mean totally different things.
Wow, that's deep.
People bring me deals. Out of 1,999 are not deals. They're leads
Wow.
that need to be worked to become a deal, right? Deals are just sitting out there, but oftentimes leads need to be massaged to make them deals. Okay, they need some work. So now we have to learn, how do we take this lead? We have numbers on it, we've comped it. We want to underwrite it and make it a deal. And Robert's goal is, I want to hold rentals.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're bringing stuff to me in Florida or Texas or Carolinas or any of those pretty states where everybody wants to move,
Mhm.
I'm going to first evaluate this as, can I buy this and hold it as a rental for myself? And I need to underwrite it. I need to make sure this is actually a deal.
Mhm.
Okay. So I need to make sure that the cash flow I'm receiving on this property
Mhm.
is more than my monthly expenses.
Okay.
So how much is this going to cost me? So am I buying it with cash? I could potentially buy it with cash. I might need to get a mortgage,
Mhm.
a loan on it, right? I have taxes that I need to pay on it. So that means we can do all this, but this is stuff that's pretty easy to, I don't think I need to explain this part. Like, if you want to figure out how much taxes are on that property, just
Mhm.
go to the county website and look up how much taxes are on that property.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Okay. You need to know how much insurance is going to be on that property. How do you figure that out? You pick up the phone and you call State Farm and say, I have a property. Here's the property. I'm wanting to purchase it. How much is homeowners insurance on it?
Mhm. Okay.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify. If you're going to be renting this out, you call up State Farm or Allstate, whoever it is you're using, and you say, how much is landlord insurance going to be? I own it. I'm going to be renting it out. Okay.
Gotcha.
Property. You need to think about your principal, your interest, your taxes, your insurance, PITI. You'll hear this acronym pretty often, PITI. What's the PITI? This is what they're referring to: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. In Texas, I don't know exactly about Florida, but in Texas, almost every house we come across is going to be in a neighborhood and they're going to have an HOA.
Okay.
Don't forget about that HOA.
Check
Okay.
it.
You need to know, like, I need to know all of the expenses that are going to happen on a monthly basis, all of them, that I'm going to be responsible for as a landlord. Right?
Mhm.
Certain like electricity, that's something I can pass on to the tenant and they're billed for it and they're going to pay it themselves, right?
Right.
Garbage, sometimes garbage the landlord has to pay for. So you need to find all of those various expenses. And an easy
Mhm.
way to do it is just think about all the bills you have. Like, I know
Right.
I have an electricity bill, I know I have water, I know I have sewer, I know I have garbage, I know I have internet. I know I have insurance for my house. Like all those little things, you have to
Mhm.
think about which ones are applied that my tenant is gonna pay, which ones am I gonna pay?
Right.
Okay? You need, those are called expenses. Those are the expenses that you need to know.
Okay.
The other thing you need to do is you need to find out how much can I actually make on this property renting it on a monthly basis? How much can I rent it out for? If my
Right.
PITI and HOA and all my expenses come out to $1,500 a month, and I know that all of the other properties in my neighborhood rent for $1,500 a month,
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
making zero
Wow.
dollar cash flow.
Right.
$0 cash flow. Okay, is this a deal?
No. If that's no.
This is not a deal. Okay, maybe I lied. I lied, Jordan.
You did.
I did. Now we're talking about something that could potentially be massaged.
Okay.
If you come to me and you say, Rob, I have this property, I've comped it, I've underwritten, the cash flow is pretty even. There's very little cash flow. The first thing I'm gonna answer is, can we buy this creative?
Gotcha.
Because that's gonna change our payment structure,
Right.
right? So if you came like, hey, there's no cash flow on this, the seller is not interested in creative at all, I'm gonna say this is not a deal, move on.
Gotcha.
Don't spend too much time on it. Okay. If you're like, hey, Rob, I've comped this property at cash, it's not really cash flowing, but they're open to creative, they're open to terms, like they're willing to seller finance. Well,
Wow.
that's a very different discussion. That's a discussion you need to bring to a sub-2 student. Don't take that on yourself. It's a little too much. Like,
Okay.
I don't want it, it gets overwhelming quick because there's lots of terms.
Mm.
You know, I can walk into a property and probably figure out 4 or 5 different ways we can structure that to make it work.
Mhm.
And it gets too complicated too quickly.
Mhm.
Not that it's difficult, it's just that a lot of it is jargon and
Yeah.
processes that can overwhelm someone. You
Yeah.
understand? So if you run into a situation like that, come to one of the substitute students. Come to me. If it's something that I can't handle because my plate is full, I'm happy to put you in touch with Dawn is in here, or there's
Mhm.
lots of other um sub-2 students. I mean, I see Crystal Owensby is in here. I thought I saw Tori earlier. Um, she's a real estate agent in Texas who knows all things creative. She's always in here helping me out.
Wow.
Um, so come to me. If I can't do it myself, I know someone who can.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Alan Knowles is in here. There's a few. Yeah, Don Walker's in here. Elena. There's a few sub-2 students in here. But bring them to me. And if my plate is full, because that happens sometimes, you folks, you know, I have a lot of stuff on my plate sometimes, and I
Yeah.
can't handle it all. And please don't be offended if I reply with like 1 or 2 words or point you in the right direction. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be helpful even when I'm super busy. But come to me. I'm happy to work with you guys. And if it gets to a point where you guys can't handle it because it's like, well, this is too much right now, I'm
Mhm.
happy to help.
Gotcha.
Deal
Gotcha.
structuring, negotiating, like we can do all that stuff for you. What I don't like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna communicate it openly to all of you. What I don't like is you going on Privy like this
Mhm.
and saying, this is the lowest price in the neighborhood. Robert, what do you think about this property?
Mm.
I'm gonna say I think it's a White House. Like this is nothing. You know, you're not bringing anything. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Jeez, Robert. Like this.
Okay.
Okay. I went on Privy. I found the lowest priced house in the neighborhood. Robert, I have
Mhm.
a deal for you. No, you don't.
Gotcha.
You haven't
Okay.
comped or underwritten everything. You haven't told me anything about what's going on with the property, how much rehab costs. Like that's not a deal. Like I need
Gotcha.
to know, right? If you bring a property to me and I have to comp it, right? My team has to comp it, my team has to underwrite it, my team has to lock it up on it. You might get a finder's fee
Hmm.
because you haven't really provided value. You just brought something. Plus, it's public domain. It's on the MLS.
Right.
You know, I find it funny when people are like, Robert, I need you to sign an NDA on a property, and I'll sign an NDA, and then it'll be something that's on market. It's like you can't sign an NDA on a property that's publicly, it's got public information.
Right.
So there's that. Um,
This is super helpful, by the way, Rob. Seriously.
heck yeah, man, no problem. I'm happy to help. And if you have a question, I know everyone else has a question too. They're just afraid to ask.
Yeah, man.
So no problem. What do I feel about Orlando? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been to Orlando. I have no clue about Orlando. Um, but you know, I know a bunch of people. I haven't been to Disney World. I've been to Disneyland. I'm from the West Coast, so Disneyland was a big thing. But Disney World was far. Well, I have to cross the whole country. But now that I'm in Texas, Disney World is like halfway between. I'm halfway between Disney World and Disneyland, so I'll go to both of them.
Hmm.
So my recommendation is learn how to comp and learn how to underwrite.
Gotcha.
And once you have a deal that you're like, hey, this could potentially be a good deal. Like we can make a cash flow. It would be a great flip. I'm locking it up. Like if we can lock it up at 55, 60% of ARV, you
Okay.
know, this potentially could be a deal. And you bring
Mhm.
it to me or to Don or whoever it is, and you're like, hey, I have a lead that's potentially a deal. Well, now if we end up going through the process and closing on it, you're going to get a much bigger piece of the pie,
Right.
right? We talked about that 10 to 15% assignment fee, right? I can pay
Mhm.
you $1,000 out of it as a property finder, but I
Mhm.
would much rather pay you 30, 40%,
Mhm.
whatever we negotiate, 20, 25, 30, 40%, because you've comped, you found an actual lead that's a deal. This is a hot lead now,
Mhm.
right? And now I can have my team look at it, evaluate it, make sure your numbers are good, and they can submit an offer. They can negotiate with the agent on it.
Right.
And the other thing is when you bring me one like this that you've comped and underwritten, I will make sure that you're part of the discussion with my acquisitions team,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
They're gonna be on the phone like, hey, Jordan, three-way dial. We're gonna talk to the agent now. Here's how that process goes,
Okay.
right? Because I want you to learn that too.
Uh-huh.
You need to learn how to talk to agents. And it's okay if you don't know how. My acquisitions team, when you bring us a deal, that's a deal. They're going to be on the phone with you, working it with you. Well,
Gotcha.
you'll be part of the whole process. You'll see the whole system, that whole thing. And then you do 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or however many of those you want to do until you feel comfortable. And then
Mhm.
you're like, you know what? I think I can negotiate this, right? And then
Mhm.
you put it under contract yourself and it's a deal. And then you bring it to me. And now it's like, Rob, I just need help dispoing. I need help
Mm.
selling this. Now you get a much bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
Understand? The
Yeah.
more you do in that process, the bigger of a pie you're gonna get. That's only fair. And
Yeah.
that's what I want from you guys. Like I want you guys, not because I'm obviously we're all here for ourselves, but I want to help you guys get as big of a piece of the pie as possible.
Mhm.
With the understanding that if you're coming to me for help, I am super like ask any of the elephant people who came before. I would bend over backwards to help you guys in any way possibly I can. Like I'm on the ladder at work answering Discord messages and Facebook
Mm.
messages. I am here to help you guys with the understanding like I'm expecting that if I'm going to have to do work on your deal, that I'm going to take a piece of the pie up. Just makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We're all here to share and work together on it. Any questions about that?
No, this is huge. Honestly, just making it super simple. Like there's no room for if, ands, or buts. It's just, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just making it faster. So
Much
super,
simpler than you the first time you walked up to it, right?
of course.
It looked daunting the first time. It's like, what the crack are these guys talking about? PITIs and HOAs and like, what the heck are all these words?
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
this is my job, right? This is my job to. I'm really good at taking big complex things and breaking it down into those little baby elephant bites,
Mhm.
helping you guys level up. That's what we're here for. I mean, Don and I spent this whole weekend talking about how the heck can we help our elephants find deals that actually are deals. And here's
Mhm.
how. We break it down, make it simpler for you guys. We're here to help literally every step of the way, as long as you're not just like, hey, do all the work for me.
Yeah. How can we get the recording so that if it like as I'm doing these things, I can look back at it and say, okay, boom, 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 and just make it faster.
Can you see my screen? The Rob Sema.
The Rob Sima, yeah.
This will be on YouTube probably by the end of the week.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
You can go back and see all the past elephant challenges. This
Perfect.
is I think this is season 2 or whatever it is. I don't know how many. I've done a few elephant challenges. I didn't record them all. When I first like the first 2 elephant challenges I didn't record.
Uh-huh.
So I started recording them and putting them on YouTube just so you guys can go back and
Gotcha.
see them.
Gotcha. Cool,
Look at
cool.
Laura Cozy. I'm a baby gator and also a realtor. Awesome. Yeah. So this is what I would recommend if you're just starting out. Practice comping, practice underwriting, and then once you're like, yeah, this is a deal, look at it from a renter's perspective. Those are the
Mhm.
majority of people that I sell to, renters. Um, this could potentially be a good rental. It can cash flow.
Mhm.
Then you can bring it to me and like, hey, Robert, I need this negotiated. I need this put on the contract and sold. And my
Mhm.
team is happy to help.
Okay.
And we're happy to walk you through all that process and teach you along the way. Laura Cozy, you're from Southern Oregon? I'm from Portland, originally from Portland. Were you from like Medford area? So yeah, like calling agents, negotiating, we can talk to you about all that stuff. Um,
Gotcha.
if you bring properties that you've negotiated like at 60, 55% of ARV
Mhm.
and just want me to sell them, no problem. You'll get a bigger piece of the pie. Right? If you're like, hey, Robert, I need help because this is not going to work like this, but they're open to terms. Like
Mhm.
they want to do seller finance. Fantastic. There's literally I can't think of any one thing that is at all related to real estate in any way, shape, or form that Sub2 can't handle.
Wow.
Like name anything you can possibly think of, and we have specialists within Sub2 who are better than anyone else in America at it.
Wow.
Jordan, you good?
Yeah, yeah. I actually see Laura. She's asking about a rental that she's about to list.
I see her. I'm trying to find her.
Okay. I appreciate it again, Rob, and I'm definitely gonna take this and put it into action. I really appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm happy to help. Let's see. Cindy Hook. Laura, I can't find you. Let me do a search this way. There's Laura. Laura, unmute. I hit you on mute. Let me add spotlight. Oh, there you are.
Hey, Rob.
How
Hey,
are you?
everybody. Great session here. I love it. Let me give you, I know it's to the end of the Zoom, and I don't want to hold you guys too much, but probably it's going to be good for everybody, this question that I have. Okay, so we have a rental in Medford that I'm going to, basically, I'm going to list it, but I really don't want to list it. I just want to sell it.
Okay.
It's not mine. So the rental, the house itself is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with a studio detached, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna list at 275. The seller is willing to take anywhere down to 250, okay? She wants to offload. Now, here's the problem. So we have seller financing and the private money guy both on this property when she bought it. Okay.
Okay.
And her payment is $1,100 a month for everything.
Okay.
She is making $2,500 a month for rent. So she's got a great cash flow, right?
Okay.
You would think that this would be a piece of cake to sell, right? Now, the
Okay.
problem is that the house has a partial foundation.
What do you mean? So like
Boom,
half of
right
it is
there.
slab and half of it
Somebody,
is
right. So that makes it not financeable, right? Now,
hold on.
people in your, okay,
You're saying that the foundation is half slab and half post and beam? Is that what
yes,
you're saying? So why is that not found
yes.
financeable?
The bank would not finance it. The
That
banks
is strange.
will not finance it because they want the foundation fixed first. They want full, so you know what that means? That means probably 40 grand in foundation work, if not more.
Okay.
So would people in these groups, like in your group, in Pace's group, actually look at something like that?
Yeah, of course it would. Why wouldn't we?
Well, I don't know, because the house has, you know, a certain problem, or, you know, I understand that you're looking for example, for a rental, you're looking at the cash flow, and you know what, if it was me, I would buy it probably only for the cash flow.
It's in
But
Medford?
I know it's in Medford, yes. And it's in a very, you know, it's a traffic area, it's close to the mall and to everything. But that was my main problem, you know, the foundation. So I
I would
wanted to
find a
run it.
different bank.
Hmm?
I would find a different bank. That's what I would do.
I
Find a
This
bank
house
that
has-
is not dumb. Sounds like that bank is dumb.
yeah, but okay, but let me see if I was to actually sell it to somebody, because I didn't list it yet, Rob. I'm looking at creative financing for this deal, because the deal is itself on creating financing right now. It's on a private money lender with $100,000 and $80,000 seller financing. Okay.
Okay. So it's a hybrid.
Right. So who would be interested in it? I mean, can we sell it in the group, like as a good rental? Actually, the seller did you know, flooring, roof, siding, electric, plumbing, about everything is done except the foundation.
What's the value of it?
275.
Send it to me. Send it to me. I'll take a look at it. DM me on Facebook or on Instagram, wherever. Friend me and send me the property. I know someone in Southern Oregon who is, if I can't take care of it myself, I know someone in Southern Oregon who is one of the Oregon sub-2 leaders.
Okay.
Don, what's up?
Hey, Laura, I had a question.
Mhm.
Will the bank not finance it because there's a problem with the foundation or simply because it's a split slab?
Because it's a split slab.
When was the house built?
I think it's a 1950s. I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but it's pretty.
Probably did an
old,
addition on it.
So I'm thinking it's
Addition.
because of the detached. Right?
No, actually, the detached is all the way in the back. It's a separate building. Okay?
Sure,
The
but
studio is separate.
if there's a detachment, and is it permitted?
Yes, everything is permitted.
Okay, that's really weird. The only
I would find
have
a
they had an
different bank
inspection
first.
on the foundation?
I'm bringing a guy now under 15 actually to look at the foundation. But what's happening here, I don't know, maybe Rob knows, everything is 40,000 and up because you're bringing the, what's the Terra Firm? They start at 40 grand, you know? So anyway, so that's my main problem with this one. And really, it's such a great little moneymaker. And this is the main problem. And I don't know how to go about it. I mean, I know I would do private financing, right? This house has never been financed by a bank.
I
So
will be happy to
never.
take a look at it. And if I can't handle it, I know someone in the area who can. So just
Okay.
DM me on Facebook Messenger. On Facebook, DM me and I can, I'll help you out with this, no problem.
All right, sounds good to me. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yeah, I'm
Dawn.
familiar.
Dawn, hit me
familiar
up
with the whole
if
area.
you. I'm sorry?
I said I'm familiar with the whole Oregon area. I'm from Portland. I've been to Medford a few times and
Nice.
it rains a lot.
Nice.
It rains a lot there in that valley, but it's fine. It'll work.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Nice to see you. All right. Anybody else have any quick questions or anything like that? How's it going, Don?
What's up, dude?
I'm tired.
Me too.
It's been a long day.
It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. We got the elephant challenge.
We got Elephant Challenge tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and I think Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of stuff we got to plan for and take care of behind the scenes. And plus we are doing all sorts of community training and Zooms and all sorts of stuff to get better at everything we're trying to do and help you guys. And it's going to be a big push to the end of the year. So I'm eager to do some deals. Bring me cheddar. Bring me bread. Let's do it. Yes,
Crazy.
Anthony, it's gonna be multifamily focused. I don't think it's gonna be like large multifamily stuff. It'll be smaller multifamily stuff.
Never know with pace though. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
But y'all, one thing
Yeah.
you should be doing in the Zooms, and even if it's in here, but especially in the Elephant Challenge, make sure you're networking in the side chat. 100%. You should be connecting with people and introducing yourselves, and yes, paying attention, obviously, but make sure that you're getting in the side chat. And that's how Rob and I connected. He hit me up, and so we just been hanging out ever since. So you can find all kinds of things in the side chat, things that you're going to need later. You may not need them now, but you can find your partner, you can find your best friend, you can find your private money lender, you can find your realtor, you can find your TC. I mean, y'all, you need to get all the tools and put them in your tool belt so that when you do need them, you're not rushing to find them.
Yes. Networking is important. One more thing before I go is James Hunt. Are you here still? Yes, you are. Yes. I want to talk about this property. Where is the little? Oh, come on. Where's the little spotlight thing?
You can take me off spotlight.
There it
If
is.
he doesn't have his
Oh.
camera on. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Let me unmute you. So James and his wife, his lovely wife, have been working a deal since forever. Here, I'm going to hit the unmute button. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, there we go.
There we
Seems
go.
like forever.
Tell me about what happened.
Okay.
Do a quick like 1 second rundown of this whole thing.
Okay, so we got it in contract, and it's just been one thing after another with the realtor that's involved. Originally, he didn't even want us to be able to pass it on to somebody else, but he finally gave in to that. I honestly don't think he's talked to the owner half the time, because he'd give an answer like in 5 minutes instead of 15 or 20, where he'd call somebody. And then we got a buyer who was excited about the property, but he's out of the country. And so he didn't find out till Friday that he needed 3 business days to have his money released. And the realtor said, absolutely not. I'm not giving you any other time. So we raced all weekend long trying to find another buyer. And then Monday, which was our final day to get our deposit back, I called the title company and they started giving me information that I didn't know. One of the owners had passed away, so it was in what's it called?
Probate.
Probate?
Probate. Yes, thank you. It was in probate, and so they're like, that's going to be a minimum 2 to 4 weeks. And what it turns out is the realtor put himself in as without permission as my representative as well as his seller's
Ooh.
representative. So he's sitting here talking to the probate lawyer, and I have no idea that any of this is going on. And he knew from the day we signed the contract that this was happening. And so
Wow.
we spent since last Wednesday, which is when we signed the contract. He already knew it was in probate, all of this. He wouldn't do an extension. We were trying to find, and we find all this out on yesterday. And the best part for us is he did not have, we had in it that the contract had to be signed by all parties last Wednesday on the 30th. He never had the seller sign the contract.
They initialed it.
They initialed a couple parts, for each page, but they never signed the contract. And so in the midst of over the weekend, I get on a call with him and I'm like, so we just realized that the contract was never signed. Does that mean it's actually void, null and void? And he goes, well, technically, yes. And that was on Saturday. Well, Sunday, he sends out a signed contract to everybody, including the title company.
You want to know what I think? I think he initialed it.
I'm pretty
Yes.
positive that he's initialed everything.
Well, he
so
went,
far.
so we responded to him saying that, he said, are you still interested in the property? And we said, well, yes, if you'll extend that. And we didn't know about the probate. We knew it was, we thought it had cleared probate. We didn't know it was still in process at that point. And he said, so we told him, yes, we are interested, if you can extend, because we had a buyer, they just took 3 days, needed 3 days to release their funds. So, well, anyway, so we said, if you extend it, yes, we're interested. And then the next day he got it signed and submitted it signed, but the date on it is from the 4th and it needed to be signed by the 30th. So we have that loophole that will get us our deposit back, because now we're having trouble getting him to sign. In Florida, I guess they both, the buyer and the seller, have to sign the termination agreement. And he didn't sign it. We got it signed in time yesterday and he didn't get it signed at all. He sent us his termination agreement, which has a little bit of a clause in there that we're not sure about, and we won't sign it. And if we do sign it, it would have today's date instead of yesterday's. And so we're waiting to talk to the title company tomorrow, but he just sent another rude email.
How many days did you have for inspection?
Only 5.
5 business days or 5 days?
5 days.
Wouldn't that restart though for when they re-sign the contract? Wouldn't that restart your inspection?
Well, the date, it was a hard date on the, so I don't know. It said in the contract if it needed to be signed by the 30th. And then the inspection period was 5 days from when it was signed or the 30th. And if it wasn't signed by the 30th, it was void. So I would think we would need a new inspection with a new date other than the 30th, new contract.
Well, especially since the first contract you had was just initialed, it wasn't signed, so it technically really wasn't a contract. So if he just signed it with the new date on there, you can argue that you have a few more days for your inspection.
I don't think he changed the date.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, we didn't change the date?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
Right,
just,
we
he
just
just
added
added
the
the
signatures.
signatures
Right.
oh.
and said, oh, here's an updated copy. And the title company,
Shady.
actually, when I was talking to them, they're like, yeah, this is kind of weird. And I told her everything that had been happening. And she's like,
Tomorrow morning, I would call the brokerage.
Yeah,
That's
the,
the first thing I would do tomorrow morning. Call his brokerage.
okay.
Yeah.
he's
'Cause
not.
This guy is being shady. He's dropped the ball so many times. He's lying to us. He misrepresented us. That's 3 reasons already. I would call his brokerage. And
Yeah.
if they don't do nothing about it, threaten to take him to the realtors board.
Yep.
And then you'll see how quick he'll be like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
But yeah, so hopefully everything will pan out. But
Yeah.
as far
Call
as,
title, double check everything. Like,
Yeah, we're not
Yeah, make-
signing his contract until we
Yeah.
talk to the title company.
what I would do is, I mean, this might be too far gone. Call title and be like, hey, the contract's null and void. Send us our EMD back. We don't need the buyer's or seller's signature on this. It was void from the get-go. Send it back.
That's what I think
yeah,
too.
I had a conversation with them yesterday and at first they're like, the seller has to sign it and release it.
But you brought
And
that
then I brought up that it was never officially signed and she's like, yeah, well, yeah. She said it's just what would have to happen is once we pursue that aspect, their lawyer has to look at it. And she said probably take a couple days.
And
we should-
sometimes that's what happens, right? The title company is supposed to make sure their liability is covered, that they've looked over everything. But I agree. I think this is way too shady and I wouldn't sign anything else unless it's from the title company for you to be done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they actually sent me the termination contract, which we filled out. So it's from the title company, sent it to him. And he took the last 2 days to finally send, and he sent his own. And so we're like, I actually sent a note to him saying, I'd prefer we just use the title companies.
And he
Yep.
just responded and said, well, then fix it. I've never seen this one before. Like, whatever. Anyway, it's a mess. It's been a
Goodness.
learning experience for sure.
And the other thing is, so similar to what I do in Texas, all my contracts have an addendum where all of that mutual release stuff is removed. You know, I have like 3 different documents that I make everybody sign to know that if this deal falls apart, I'm getting my EMD back regardless of your whole mutual release bullcrap.
That's
Yeah.
that's good.
Florida's another one of those states. Texas and Florida. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, cut it and go to the next one.
Mhm.
yeah.
This was a fantastic learning experience. I'm sure you guys learned some fun stuff. And some not so fun stuff. But good. Nice to see you guys.
Nice
Yeah,
to see you. I
thank
think we
you.
have a call tomorrow, so talk to you then.
Yes. Yeah. So everybody who's still here, the hunts have come from the previous Elephant Challenge, right? And same thing, like, we don't know how to do this first step. And then we talked to them about the first step. And they're like, okay, we got the first step figured out. We don't know how to do the second step. And then we get the second step figured out. And look, now they're getting contracts denied left and right. And they're like, no big deal.
Hey, those are wins, man. Let me tell you. I love the no's. I mean, they suck in the moment, but you know, if you can learn those lessons now and protect yourself now, they're not going to be a problem later. So
Yeah, just be okay with your contracts getting denied and with stuff falling out and with sometimes you gotta put in memorandums and just normal par for the course. Dawn, great seeing you again.
good to
Love
see you.
seeing you over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Great hanging out.
Was.
We will see you tomorrow on Elephant Challenge for sure. All right, everybody. I think we're gonna call it good. 2.5 hour Zoom. That's pretty good for tonight. Before y'all leave, take a picture of your screen, post it in the creative finance group that we're having Zooms and we're learning elephant stuff. We're having fun doing it. I'm hoping to see all of you tomorrow at the Elephant Challenge. Get in there early because there's way too many people. I think the Zoom holds 5,000 and we have like 7,000 something people registered. So get there early so you can get a spot on the Zoom. Take a picture of your screen right now, post it in everywhere and tell people that you love Elephant Challenge and love FaZe Warby and our whole team here. We really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, you'll find this Zoom on my YouTube. And I'll try to get it up tomorrow. I will do my best. I'm not always the best at that, but I'll try to get it tomorrow. You can find me everywhere at the Rob Sema. I prefer Facebook and Instagram. Love you guys. Bring us some deals. Bring Dawn some deals. She'd love to help you guys. Have a good night. See ya.